Good morning friends, welcome to LJ Polytechnic Physics Laboratory. Today we will briefly introduce the physics laboratory instruments. First of all, we will see the measuring instruments like vernier calipers and micrometers. Let's see what is vernier caliper. We all know we use various measuring instruments like scale, measure tape. Today we will introduce vernier caliper. What is vernier caliper? You can see this. This is one unique type measuring instrument. What is the application of vernier caliper? Let me introduce the application of vernier caliper. If I want to measure a precise and accurate measurement of any industrial part, I can't use plastic scale. So at this time, assume that it is my industrial part manufactured at my factory and I want to measure its dimensions. So I am using vernier caliper. Simply, I want to measure its outer dimension. So I keep in this area, simply press this. I can measure the precise measurement of the part. I can also show you one digital micrometer. This is vernier. Then after we will show micrometer scale. We can also measure internal dimension. For example, this is a part and I want to measure the inner diameter or inner dimension of a part. So I can use the above part. Simply I can press here and this vernier will show the accurate dimension in 2 digits. Okay, this is the use of vernier caliper. Let's move on the micrometer screw gauge. What is micrometer? If I want some more accurate and precise measurement, then I have to go to micrometer screw gauge. Micrometer screw gauge is very useful and very easy measuring instrument. Let's see the examples. This is one part and I want to measure. Simply I rotate the threads. I put the part inside this area. Okay, and simply tighten the micrometer screw. Okay, you can see the two scales. This is main scale and this is micrometer round scale. I have to go for I will took these two reading into the consideration to get the precise measurement. In today's industries, there are some digital micrometers also available here. We can go for that. You can see as I rotate this, you can see the digital scale here, and it can give output up to 3 decimals, which is more accurate. Let's move to the next practical, surface tension. As we all know, we all observe that on the liquid surface, some insect or some birds can walk on the liquid surface, but we can't. You also noticed if you put a single needle on the water surface, it cannot float on the water surface. But if I put a blade on water surface, it will float on the water surface. It is a principle called surface tension of liquid. Okay, the instrument I used here is traveling microscope, and this is a one very low diameter tube which is called as capillary tube, and we can see the capillary effect in this instrument. For different liquid, the capillary effect will differ. In water, the capillary tube, when we put into the water level will increase, and if we put into mercury, water level will decrease. It is a totally surface tension principle. We will study it. Next, go through the
viscosity measurement. Let's go to
the viscosity instrument. Do you know the various liquids have different fluid properties? If I have 2 bottles, one is filled with water and another is filled with honey, and I simply turn the bottle to the down level, then the flow rate will be different. The water bottle will empty faster than the bottle of honey. Let's see the examples. Here I am taking a small bullet and I put into this liquid. You can see it's traveling. Okay, let's take another example. Let's take another ball and I simply, yes, you can see it's going very slowly in the liquid. Let's move on the next practicals. What is light? Do you know the laws of light? Light has too many various properties like reflection, refraction. So, do you know this is a lens? This is double convex lens, which is both side convex. This is convex mirror, and this is a slab. We will use to find the incident angle and reflection angle through this slab. And it is the magnifying glass. It is one type of lens. We all know. Next, move on the next practical. It is our practical. Do you observe? It is a spring, and a dead weight is attached to the lower end of the spring. Yeah. When I release this, you can see there are some vibrations and waves. We will also study which type of waves and vibrations occur here and how to calculate the amplitude of the vibrations. Next, move on the Kirchhoff laws and Ohm's law. Do you know? We all studied the Ohm's law. V is equals to IR. There is one relation between current and voltage. We can see in this chart. For different circuit, we can calculate the relation between current and voltage, and it is very fundamental law in electronics and electrical studies. Second, move on to the Kirchhoff law. Kirchhoff has two laws. One is Kirchhoff's current law, second is Kirchhoff's voltage law. Kirchhoff's current law is used to measure the current flow in the circuits. You can see here, in one circuit there is a node, and more than various instruments are connected to one node. So how much current will flow in which circuit or which path, which can be calculated by Kirchhoff's first law. And if we talk about the second law, it is Kirchhoff's voltage law. If there is a closed circuit, then we can simply apply Kirchhoff's second law to find out the voltage relations. Next, move on the Newton's first law, Newton's second law and Newton's third law. You know, there are various motion in our daily life. If you notice, if we travel in bus and when the driver suddenly applies brake, then we move in this direction. Do you ever noticed? It is the laws of motion. In first law of Newton, we will study what is force, what is thrust. In second law, we will find out the values of force, the differentiation of momentum with respect to time, which will give us the value of force, and the third law, which can define the impulse of force. Do you ever notice when we release any spaceship or when any rocket goes in the sky, then there is a lot of thrust in the reverse direction, which is known as third law. Next, move on the periodic table. We all studied this periodic table in our previous standards, standard 8, 9, 10. We all studied. There are various blocks, F block, P block. There are some special elements in this periodic table. There is, you can see, radium, thorium, uranium, plutonium. What are these elements? These elements are radioactive elements. Do you already know what is radioactivity? We all listen to the example about nuclear power plant, atomic power plant, nuclear bombs. What are they? when these elements are used to produce energy, they have a lot of energy. There is a fission process in nuclear power plant, and we can produce a lot of energy from this process. I hope you understand these practicals in our next video series, and this is our engineering physics laboratory. There are a lot of practicals. These are some examples, but there are a lot of practicals we will study in detail. Thank you very much.